Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis and focusing on week 3 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams 1-1. Don't want to call this a must win for Pittsburgh, but if you lose this one of the Bengals, drop to 1-2, that one would sure hurt a lot. So let's preview things kind of quickly and talk about some of the top things to watch out for from this Bengals team and give a prediction at the end. Bengals offense returns Joe Burrow, who played against Pittsburgh in his first meeting last year, was not available for the second one after tearing his ACL. Of course, the Bengals won that game with Ryan Finley. It's a good Bengals, team from a skill set standpoint with Joe Mixon in the backfield. To me, one of the more underrated runners in football. The only back who's been on the field more often than Joe Mixon is Najee Harris. So, like Pittsburgh, Mixon is their workhorse, especially with Gio Bernard off to Tampa Bay. They got a couple of really, good receivers. Jamar Chase, after some preseason struggles, has done well. 2 catches of 40 plus yards already, 2 games into the year. Tyler Boyd, always a threat. T. Higgins, fortunately for Pittsburgh, probably will not play in this one. He's doubtful as of this recording here on Friday. So that's going to help kind of be able to focus the Steelers on Boyd, who they probably will bracket and take away on third down. They've done that routinely facing him in past seasons, but that could leave Chase potentially 1-1 or in some more favorable matchups. So limiting the deep ball there is going to be key, and taking away Tyler Boyd on third down will be also, I think, of the utmost importance for the Steelers defense. To me, the game plan against Burrow is going to be the game plan they used last year. The biggest knock on Burrow's game is the arm strength. And can he make all the throws outside the numbers to the field side, things like that? If you watch the matchup he had against Pittsburgh last season, Pittsburgh was daring him and really forcing him to throw to the outside to make that far hash kind of a throw. They were playing a lot of two man, a lot of two high with trail technique underneath the cornerbacks, taking away in breaking routes to really force Burrow to try to push the ball to the sideline and test that arm strength. I think that'll be a similar game plan this time around. I think you'll see some more blitzes, some more aggression. Burrow's been sacked 9 times already. The Bengals, though, do run a lot empty. And one way to kind of slow down a blitz is to spread the field out and go empty and force the defense to either blitz and declare or kind of play back and drop seven and rush four. So we'll see what that chess game is. But I think you'll probably see a more aggressive attacking Steelers defense, especially if the pass rush is going to be hurting. If a TJ Watt does not play, I think he will play, but we'll see. Alex Highsmith, though, has been ruled out already with a groin injury. Defensively for the Bengals, they're a stout group. They've done really well. The Bengals defenses of past have usually been pretty below average to downright poor, but they've really, I think, exceeded at least my expectations, whatever those were. The first 2 weeks, the run defense has been among the best in football. They really contained Dalvin Cook and David Montgomery the first 2 weeks. Granted, two talented running backs with a poor offensive line, but Pittsburgh has a talented running back with a right now poor offensive line. So they've really committed to stopping the run. They revamped that defensive line. Their off-ball linebackers are better. Logan Wilson's playing some really good ball for them. And of course, they still have some really good safeties in Jesse Bates, the free safety, and Von Bell, the strong safety. Both of those guys are tackling machines, while Bates is a ball hawk. And so you've seen some more pressure for them. They have 6 sacks in the first 2 games, 3 versus Minnesota, 3 versus the Bears. And I've just seen a more aggressive defense overall from the Bengals. And so they've shown more, A gap pressure. They've shown more press man looks, more cover zero than I've seen in years past. And so it's a different style, even though the DC is the same guy they've had for the last, I think, 3 seasons now. So it feels like a different version of this team, a more talented version of this Bengals team. And of course, they have a guy like Mike Hilton, who the Steelers, I'm sure, would love to have to defend Tyler Boyd, but now they're defending against Mike Hilton in this game, who can be, of course, disruptive as a blitzer against this run. And the Steelers O line really needs to have a good performance. And I think that they're close to O line is to getting better, but man, this Bengals defense is stout, and so they're going to be a really true and big test for Pittsburgh. And obviously, it's going to come down to trench play. How well can Pittsburgh stay on schedule, run the ball, be effective on 1st and 10, turnover battle, all those things. Obviously, critical in this game. So overall, my prediction in this one, I do have Pittsburgh winning this one in a pretty low scoring affair with the way the offense has struggled. I think Steelers defense still better than the Bengals offense. I have Pittsburgh winning 20-16. Of course, if you've looked at my first 2 predictions, I'm 0-2 on the year. I picked the Steelers to lose to the Bills, and I picked them to beat the Raiders. So take all this with a grain of salt, of course. But I do think the score will be down in this game, just based on the strengths of the defenses in both of these games, but we'll see what happens. And certainly, again, not must win territory, but you do not want to drop to 1-2, lose your first AFC North game in a very competitive North with Baltimore and Cleveland. And of course, in this scenario, if you lose to the Bengals draw or move up to 2-1, and Pittsburgh falls to 1-2, and you do not want to lose your first two games at home, of course, either. So we'll see what happens. First and 10 offense, though, for Pittsburgh, getting off to a hotter start, doing better in the first half overall. I think the critical components of this game. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who will win this game? Will the Steelers go to 2-1, or will the Bengals upset Pittsburgh at Heinz Field? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you guys have not done so already. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.